What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Amped Up with BC, and we got the Raw review for this week, 10/20/2025. If you didn't catch the show, what can I tell you in this cold open, man? Jason Yeaterman wins a main event battle royal and is going on to face CM Punk at Saturday night's main event to decide the new champion of the world, the title that Sethington Rollins had to relinquish on this show. That actually happened. We're doing this damn Jason Yeaterman thing all over. So it's a position of CM Punk wins the title, and what did he really accomplish? He beat Jey Uso. Of all the people that CM Punk has beat in his career, he can't beat Jey Uso? But don't forget, Helmsley has given Jey Uso superpowers. He can spear people and knock them out for 3 days. He can kick out of everybody's finisher 10 times. You're probably going to see 8, 9, 12 GTSs, and Jey Uso is going to kick out. As if he was just taking a nap. CM Punk can't beat Jey Yeaterman? And what, is Jey Yeaterman going to beat CM Punk? Are we going to try this Jey Yeaterman World Championship experiment yet again? That's the best they came up with. When Rollins got injured and they had to take the title away, Helmsley and his artificial intelligence, probably the first time he's ever had to use the word intelligence, the best they came up with, CM Punk versus Jey Uso. That happened tonight. We're going to talk about it. Maxxine defeated Becky Lynch again. Dirty Mysterio defeated Rusev again. In both nearly the same ways, by the way. Oh, we're going to talk about it. New tag team champions. BC, how can that be? Judgment Day never actually had a reign. They would just do some weird backstage segments, a match here and there. They never did anything with them. Nothing of substance, BC, with those titles. How could they have dropped them? Did the New Day do anything of substance before they dropped them back to the Judgment Day? Did the Viking Expedition Experience do anything with them when they beat the Judgment Day for them? Did the Judgment Day, Balor and McDougalburger, do anything the first time with them? Of course not. These wrestlers just literally hold the titles. They don't do anything for them. They don't do anything with them. So they announce a match a week ago, and then 7 days later, boom, in the middle of the show, we have new champions. And that it's supposed to be a shock moment. Helmsley is thinking, hey, that should be enough for everybody to say this show was a banger. Everybody, all my WWE shills are going to go, this show was amazing. That's what Helmsley is banking on. And there'll be enough, quote, fans. They're going to blow smoke up Helmsley's ass. They're going to coddle the balls of the cerebral dipshit. That's there's nothing else I can tell you in this cold open. I mean, this show sucked. It hid behind bells and whistles so that everybody can go, what a show. But BC's going to break it down like only we do. I'm going to give you blunt, candid honesty to an amplified level, the way nobody else can deliver. So grab your beverages, sit back, max, relax while BC drops the facts. It's Raw 10/20/25. Raw starts with Tessa Torre. Welcome, everyone, to Sacramento. We got a big night in store for you. No, really, that was the energy that Tessa Torre gave us. We are about to spend 2.5 to 3 hours of our Monday nights watching this. And this was the energy they gave us. And that's not an exaggeration. Anyone who caught this show knows those words are ever so true. Welcome, everyone, to Sacramento. As if someone shoved a pole up his ass seconds before they went live. Nobody can be that boring, right? I mean, you would hope nobody can be that boring. We all have that family member. That's just so boring. You don't even want to go to a family function. We all have that friend. That buddy that you just know, man, if he's going out with you all, he's gonna bring the boredom. We all have the coworker or the acquaintance that you just know is going to bring the mood down. But nobody can be this boring, right? You're inside of an arena with thousands of people in it. You're starting a show. A pro wrestling show. And that's the energy? Welcome, everyone, to Sacramento. A big night of wrestling in store for you. What are you doing? They are deliberately starting the show with zero energy. This is absolutely by design. There's no way this... It just sounds like we are waking this guy up from a nap and he's angry. How dare you wake me up to do this stupid show? He just sounds like he's perturbed. This has to be deliberately from Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Like, just start off casual, cool. Just start off like, hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for stopping by. We got a good wrestling show for you today. And that ain't gonna cut it, bro. When you got no pyro and you have a lifeless intro theme as it is, so the theme song that carries us into Raw sucks, you got no pyro, and now you have a guy who sounds like we just woke him up from a friggin' nap. I'm serious. That's an issue, and it sucks. It seems like I am mentioning this more and more. I liked Tessitore when he first arrived on the scene. I'm like, hey, he might have the it factor for this commentary thing. He's pretty decent. But to go out of your way to make sure that you're not giving us any energy, that you're not giving us a spark from the jump, it's like they're deliberately trying to do the opposite of what they did in the Attitude Era. With that rock-heavy theme song that got everybody on their feet and rocking out. The pyro that was basically, literally a war zone. Jim Ross screaming, "Welcome everyone to Raw! It's gonna be a wild night!" Jerry Lawler screaming with him. And in 2025, it's like, let's do the opposite now. Now we're cool, casual. Just kind of be like, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Raw. What's going on, man? We got a big night for you guys, man. We're going to take the title from Seth in a minute. First, let's recap how we even got there. Complete bullshit. Anyway, let's get into the actual show. Heyman, Breakker, and Bronson, middle of the ring with Adam Pearce. Pearce rips the Band-Aid off and says he is stripping the world title from Seth Rollins. He announces a battle royal for later with the winner facing CM Punk at Saturday night's main event. Now, Paul Heyman, and then there was this little bit where he wants the title from Braun Breaker, and Breaker wants him to say please, so he finally says please. Breaker gives the title to Heyman to then give the title to Pearce. And then Pearce leaves the ring. Paul Heyman then has a live mic for a couple 2-3 minutes, hypes up Breakker, and Reed says, I never even wanted to be with Rollins. You think I ditched Roman Reigns and my best friend CM Punk for Seth Rollins? No. I linked up with him because I knew Braun Breaker was the future of WrestleMania. I knew Bronson Reed was better than Roman Reigns. All of that's up. It's a little heavy. And I don't know why you would need Seth Rollins to link up with Breaker and Reed. But whatever. At least he's trying to cover the tracks, right? At least Paul Heyman is trying to give us some semblance of a story. Because LeVec McMahon doesn't care. Paul Heyman says Seth Rollins couldn't shoulder the responsibility of carrying the Shield. For those that don't know, Rollins' injury is a shoulder injury. In fact, he just had surgery on it, so he's going to be on the shelf for many months. So Heyman saying he could not shoulder the responsibility of carrying the Vision, I thought that was a good line. And Heyman knows how to deliver those lines too, to make them even better. And that was pretty much the opening to Raw. And then you thought you're like, hey BC, at least it sounds like we didn't get the wrestlers showing up to work. Everybody coming with their luggage and their coffees. Hey, people are showing up to work. What a concept. Hey, in 2025, that is actually an achievement, right? That's a start. Show up to work. Now, doing the work, that's another story. But no. Just because you didn't get it right from the jump, after the first segment, then you see everybody showing up to work. Stephanie Vaquer. You got Rusev walking downstairs with his hands in his pockets. Like he's oh shucks, Rusev. His hands are in his pockets. It's cool casual, right? That's the vibe Helmsley's going with. Tess, just casually welcome everyone to Raw. Rusev, come down the stairs with your hands in your pockets like, yeah, you're just like walking through a 7-Eleven. You're going to get a hot dog and maybe a Slurpee. Get a 7-Eleven slushie. Yeah, Rusev, just walk like you're going to get a Snickers bar. And by the way, Rusev, TKO called. Can you just put a Snickers like bar in your pocket? And can we just put a Snickers tag on your shoulder right here? Don't think of them as advertisements. Think of them as clothing tattoos. Yes. Rusev, oh shucks, his hands in his pockets. What happened to diabolical badass Rusev? He's getting a low blow the other week, and he's getting rolled up by Dominic Mysterio. And now he's got his hands in his pockets like, oh shucks, I'm going to have a wrestling match tonight. And then Maxxine! There's Dupree! Maxine's going to get a title match later in this show because it's Sacramento and she's from Sacramento. So Helmsley's like, I can connect the dots and hey, you know what? Title match, Maxxine. So Maxxine is walking down the hallway with Otis and Tozawa. And Maxine's walking down the hallway like she's constipated. I don't know what faces she's making. This is what I mean. Maxxine is very, very awkward. She's very over-animated, very just unorthodox. And in the ring, it's even worse. But the facial expressions, who walks down the aisle like that? I'll take Pockets McGee over there, not Orange Cassidy, Rusev. There's a tag team. Pockets McGee's, man. You put Orange Cassidy with Rusev. Anyway, I would take that over whatever facial expressions we were getting from Maxxine for 20 seconds. So there you go. Everybody is showing up to work now, all right? Everybody's accounted for. It's like attendance when you used to go to school. You used to call out your name. You got to raise your hand. Everybody showed up to work. Now we can actually get into the first match. It's a tag title match. Balor and McMulligan defending the titles against AJ Styles and Dragon Ball Z. Lee. Styles clash on Balor and new tag champions. More titles change hands in the middle of the show. Or I guess you could say this one was closer to the start of the show. All the bells and whistles. Pyro goes off behind them. Tess says it was awesome. Barrett says it was an instant classic. And Helmsley is in Gorilla thinking, yeah, I had more titles change hands in the middle of the show. the IWC is going to say this show was amazing. Right? You know that's what Helmsley is thinking, because this is what he does. When Netflix says you have to do better, we need better from you. We're losing too many viewers. Your fans are not happy. The consumer is pissed. And the fans have been telling Helmsley, these shows suck. You have to do better. This is what he goes to. This is what he thinks constitutes as better. Titles changing hands nonstop. It's a merry-go-round in this damn company. Everybody touches all of these titles. And they do nothing for anyone. And the titles get devalued in the process. Who do we go? What was it? Judgment Day to Viking Experience to New Day, back to the Judgment Day, and now to AJ Styles and How to Train Your Dragon. That's like 5 sets of tag teams right there, and each one of those teams did nothing with the titles. The only thing that each one of those teams did was sit at catering and eat triple-layered moose cake. And we're still asking the question, why would Viking Experience get the titles from the Judgment Day, I believe that's what it was, just for the New Day to get them, just for the New Day, which was a heel team, to give them to back to the Judgment Day, which is still a heel team. So all of that was just to get the titles back to Judgment Day. Why would you have the New Day be the vehicle to do that? None of it makes sense, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. And then Helmsley does this little, shock moment segment. Shock moment title change. The only problem is none of it's a shock. He does this. Titles change hands. And then BC is supposed to cut this review and say what? What do you want me to say? This was amazing. This was so awesome. Wow, the titles changed hands. What a moment. This show is off the charts. I couldn't believe the titles change hands like that. Yes, I can believe it, because it happens all the time. Friday Night SmackDown, I just saw the US champion lose his title. In the middle of the show, it wasn't even the main event, no joke. I know a lot of you guys don't watch these shows. You just listen to BC's review and say, thanks for saving me a couple hours. You're welcome. But that happened on Friday. Just a few days ago, man. Dragunov came back out of nowhere. He's been gone for over a year with his injury. He came back, face versus a face. And Sami Zayn just was looking up at the lights. He handed the title over to Dragunov. It seems like we do this every show. Titles are changing hands left and right. Everybody gets to touch them. It's not a shock moment. It's not fun for a lot of us. It's not enough for BC, who gives truthful, very amplified level honesty. It's not enough for me to say, wow, this was good. It's not good. This is not good booking. This match was made a week ago. A week ago. A week ago. That's acceptable to you? The match was made a week ago with a bunch of other weird matches. Maxxine will get another title match because she's from Sacramento against Becky. And Rusev, the heel, will take on Dominic, the heel, in a rematch for their IC title. It was made a week ago. Yes, I am going to say, back in the day, you would have a program. You would have a story and a feud. And after a couple, 2-3 months bare minimum, you culminate it with a match. And if titles are going to change hands, that's when they do. When there's a level of care behind it. The live crowd can pop, of course. They spent thousands of dollars to be there. You bamboozled them out of thousands of dollars because fans actually have loyalty and respect to the product and to the wrestlers. Something the company knows nothing about toward their fans. But yeah, they paid a lot of money. They're going to sing, yeet, yell, this is awesome, and cheer on the wrestlers doing all the gymnastics. But what do you think everybody at home's going to do? We're sitting there when it's all said and done going, wait, what? That was the entire Judgment Day title reign? What did they do with the titles? Nothing! They carried them through the airport every town they had to go to. If anything, the titles are a nuisance. I'm still asking, what did they do for the Viking Raiders? I'm still asking where the Vikings are. The Viking expedition went on another expedition. Maybe they'll bump into Veer, who's still lost in the woods. Trying to find his ass to Raw. New Day had the titles for a cup of coffee. Then they went to catering. Xavier Woods came back with a weird mega trash can lamp on his head. And I'm supposed to praise this decision? This idiot made a match last week and then just have the titles change hands for no reason. Right from the jump, we're just going to have a big moment. Everybody's going to say, this Raw was amazing because the titles changed hands, man. The titles, they really, really changed hands. Every title changes hands. Every damn show there's a title changing hands. Would there be more? Let's talk about it. Because next was Dominic Mysterio in his U.S. Championship and his stupid little mustache against Rusev, Pockets McGee. Did Rusev take his hands out of his pockets and try to crush this little twerp? Let's talk about it. Dirty defeats Rusev again. This was a rematch from a couple of weeks ago and ended nearly the same way. Rusev catches another low blow, and this time, instead of getting rolled up, Rusev receives a frog splash to get pinned. And you want a real cheese platter? When the low blow happened, Tess on commentary screams out, "Oh, man parts! Onions fried!" If you are one of the Amplified Unit subscribers or channel members, if you are one of the Amplified Unit that chooses not to watch this show, you just listen to BC's podcast, you listen in on the show. That actually happened. Rusev catches another low blow from another heel, by the way. And Tessa Torres screams out, "Oh, man parts! Onions fried!" What are we doing? Guys, what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we watching? What are we talking about? Oh, man parts, onions fried. And Rusev loses to Dominic Mysterio. These losses that a big heel, like Rusev should be, heels are going to lose most of the time. Unless the booking calls for a heel not to lose often, which happens. But a lot of heels are going to lose more often than faces lose. That's going to happen. But you have to preserve those losses, and they have to be meaningful. They're chalking up all of these Rusev losses just to another heel, Dominic Mysterio. This does nothing. No face is being elevated throughout any of this. Nobody. And Rusev just looks like a geek. Catching low blows, being out-heeled every week, rolled up, frog splash. After this match, no joke, Penta got in the ring and just beat him up some more. Rusev is not even feared. Penta just jumps in the ring, and he's like, "Hey, I might as well join in." So Rusev gets pinned, gets up, and then gets beat up by Penta. What does this do for anybody? Does nothing. It doesn't even do anything for Dominic Mysterio. Nobody's going to remember this 3 days from now. 2 days from now. Tomorrow. This. And then, you know what? Let's save it because here we go. Here comes another title match. This is the Women's IC Championship. This is Bex versus Max for the Women's IC title. I felt so bad for Becky Lynch in this matchup. This is a real experienced badass wrestler, Becky Lynch. Whether you like her or not, think she's boring or not, that's fine. She's had Such good matches with the Sasha Bankses, the Charlottes, the Baileys, everybody. She's the Asuka, you name it. And she had to sell this entire match for Dupree. 60 seconds into this, they went to break. Went to a commercial instantly. And I guess that's where Maxxine did a lot of her, quote, selling off of TV. And if you're wondering why, it's because she is still trying to learn this wrestling thing. They have training wheels on her. They are heavily rehearsing her matches. I mean, if you know how to critique pro wrestling, and take it from BC, I've been in that ring. You know when something is move for move rehearsed. And it is much easier. It may not seem it, but believe me when I say it is much easier to deliver offense than to take defense and sell. If you are an inexperienced pro wrestler, the art of selling is just that. It is an art. If you got a week or 2 weeks to rehearse with somebody, it is much easier to show them some offense. Because if you ain't selling properly, the whole magic trick is exposed. We already know Maxxine Dupree's not a good athlete, right? Her drop kicks don't even get past the knee. Today she tried to do a bicycle kick. I think she got the kneecap of Becky Lynch. But you can always hide behind your offense. You can't do that with selling and defense. You'll be exposed on that. So that's why they immediately went to commercial and had Becky put in her offense during commercial break. When we came back, Becky had a few moves, but that was it. This was basically Maxxine Dupree all over Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch had to sell for Maxxine basically the entire match. And even lose again, by the way. Becky Lynch lost again. A couple weeks ago was a count out. And tonight was via disqualification. Becky hits Dupree with the title. Basically, Cody Rhodes hitting Drew McIntyre. Once Helmsley thinks of one thing, I'll put that in air quotes. Once he decides one thing, he runs it into the ground nonstop. So you're probably going to see this several more times in the next several weeks. Titles getting hit over dome pieces. So Becky is disqualified. Dupree picks up another victory. So Dupree manhandles, pun intended, manhandles Becky Lynch and beats her again. Becky looks pathetic. And I'm actually high on Becky. I think Becky has been putting in some of her best work. Her and Seth together was, I thought, next level. I saw all this potential. And then they just stuffed Becky Lynch with Maxxine Dupree. And it has just went off the rails. And Becky is all of that equity that Becky was building to be legit again. And Becky is, she just looks pathetic out there. And it's not even her fault. I mean, they just have Becky running around the ring like a clown with Maxxine. Looks like a couple of clowns. Looks like you're at the Circus Soleil. No, that's actually entertaining. Becky Lynch needs to get away from this Maxxine BS. It has to stop. It has to. I don't know what WWE's trying to prove. Okay. You had the feel-good moment of this little manager who's unorthodox and not athletic, and she just looks so weird running around the ring. But you got the fans to go, oh, you can do it, Maxxine. Okay, you did it. You had that moment. Can we all just agree that that's not working? Maybe it's best if you keep the training wheels on, and maybe it's best if you take her back to, if you really want her to try this wrestling thing out even more, why not NXT, man? I mean, there's places for this. You can't heavily rehearse matches like this time after time and take your champions or top wrestlers like Becky Lynch and have them just handled. Because you have to try to make Maxxine look good with the training wheels on. Watching Dupree wrestle is like eating steak with a TV remote. It's frustrating and it just doesn't work. This was a hard watch. I thought there was a chance that that Helmsley was actually going to give that title to Maxxine, and still might. But I knew when Dragon Ball Z and AJ Styles won the tag titles, I was like, all right, maybe we're not going to get too carried away. This was bad, man. This was bad. Again, I'm not going to lie to my audience. A lot of my audience doesn't actually watch a show. They're coming for my honest take on this. I'm not going to tell my audience to take 10 minutes or 15 minutes out of their time to go and watch this trash. I would never do that. Guys, you got to watch Becky Lynch absolutely look like an idiot. You got to watch Maxxine try to throw a bicycle kick and twirl around the ring and do a crossbody from the top rope. Man, you got to see Maxxine. Barrett's calling it a classic. Tessa Torres saying it's a match of the year candidate. I don't think they actually said it this week. They said that 2 weeks ago, though. That's a true story. Stick with the ladies for a second. Kabukis. The Kabuki Warriors were doing a pre-tape, backstage pre-tape. And Asuka says, and I quote, "We're putting the entire tag team division on notice." So they're going for tag titles. And that was a quote. "We're putting the entire tag division on notice." There's just one problem. There is no tag division, Asuka. There's no tag division. Helmsley created the titles and never created a division. That takes work. That takes effort. Helmsley doesn't do that. There is no tag team, Asuka. That's why they took Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and they're like, well, what if Alexa, can you hold the hand of Charlotte and maybe everybody that cheers for you, can you maybe get them to cheer for Charlotte too? So they're trying to get that rub from Alexa's reaction from the crowd over to Charlie. But that's your champions, man. They just took two singles wrestlers, Alexa and Charlotte of all people, and they're just like, you guys are a tag team. And the only other tag team you can really think of is like Zarya and Sol Ruka from NXT, and that failed on Friday night. They already had their title match. Okay. Zarya will end up kicking Sol Ruka to the curb. And who else do you have? How many more matchups are you going to see with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez be absolutely meaningless? You know, I mean, if you want people to care about these individuals, you have to do things, book them in ways that are going to make us care about them. There's no legit tag teams. So you got to put Maxxine and Natalya are probably going to win tag titles in the future. I can already see that, right? Throw Natalya a bone. Because Natalya is working heavily with the rehearsing too. It ain't just Becky with Maxxine. Throw Natalya a bone. Maxxine gets a championship. Shock the world, right, Helmsley? A shock moment. Because that's all you know how to do. You don't want to do any work long term. Just go for the instant shock. Hey, titles are changing hands left and right, guys. Isn't this show amazing? You never know what's going to happen. Yes, we do. Titles are going to change left and right. And everyone's going to be booked horribly and look horribly in the ring. And you're going to give us stupid television. That's what we know is going to happen every single Monday night. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So Kabukis put the entire women's tag division on notice. And I'm counting all the teams when they did that. And I was like, 1, 2... Take away the 4, add the 1. All right, we'll tell both teams that you said they're all on notice. Actually, the next segment, Bayley was backstage telling Lyra Valkyria that she has a surprise for her next week. You know what that surprise is going to be. Bayley's going to tell Lyra that she got them a tag title match. As if that's a surprise. Everybody gets everybody gets title matches in WWE. Everybody gets the title in WWE. That's not a surprise. Surprise is telling her you brought her some Chick-fil-A. That's a surprise. Ain't nobody trying to go for those tag titles. Took this long for the Kabuki Warriors to go, oh, remember those things we used to have? Why don't we get them back? They're shiny. You sure you want to carry them through the airport? Might as well. They were shiny. So you have Bayley telling Lyra that she has a surprise for her. I don't know what happened to this Bayley character, man. It had promise, right? All those vignettes and everyone's like, whoa, what's going on with Bayley's character? This is going to be huge. I told you guys from the jump. I'm like, uh-oh. If this is it, this is bad. I said that from the jump, and sure enough, BC was right, man. This ended up being just horrible. And Lyra, who was on a roll, is stuck in Bailey purgatory. Lyra looks like it's like Becky looking like a doofus working with Maxxine Dupree. You got Lyra looking like a doofus with this stupid Bailey character. I don't even know what this Bailey character is. It's not even like a multiple personality type character because Bailey can't play it off correctly. So she's just like high pitch, low pitch, wild, less wild, wild out of 7, wild out of 2, wild out of 9. I don't know. Bailey's all over the place. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It is not a fun character. Unfortunately, it's an annoying character. That's not good. Stick with the ladies. Steph V pins Rock C. In post-match, Raquel and Nikki Bella. You can look, but you can't touch. Nikki Bella comes back and fends off the heels. And then backstage, Steph V and Nikki Bella share a nice bonding friendship moment. Or Nikki Bella is trying to tell Steph V, now that you have the title, a lot of people are going to want that title. I wish somebody told me that when I was champion. And Steph V is like, you had my back, I have your back. And Nikki Bella's like, aw, that's so sweet. Come here, girl. Girl hug. So, there you go. Maybe tag teams are forming left and right? Kabukis are going for tag titles. Bailey's going to get a title match with Lyra. Steph V, who's a singles champion, is going to have some tag matches with Nikki Bella against Roxy and Raquel. That's pretty obvious. Maybe in one night they're trying to get a division going. We'll see. It's all over the place, man. Main event Battle Royal closed out the show. This will decide who faces CM Punk at Saturday night's main event. The winner of that will be crowned new world champion, the title that Sethington just vacated. So the Usos were out first through the crowd. Everybody's yeeting. The second they get into the crowd, there's just a baby waiting for them. So it's an obvious plant, right? Like this was orchestrated. It's a fan with a baby. And they're like, this will be fun. You stay right there. We're going to tell Jay he's going to pick up your baby. Is that okay? And Jay Uso comes through the thing. And he just picks up this baby. And he's looking at it. It's like one of those like Simba moments. You ever see like the Lion King where he's hanging him off a Pride Rock? He's just hanging him out there. I'm like, he's looking at the babies like he's never seen one before. But I actually can't blame him because I've never seen an actual baby at a pro wrestling show. Like, how did a baby get into the arena? I've never seen that. I have all these questions now. Like, is that another charge? Do they charge the baby $600 to get into that arena? Or, because it's a baby, does it just get in with the parent? Guys, again, a lot of you don't watch the show. I'm talking a real baby here, not just somebody who's like younger and Jey Uso's like flipping him up in the air like he's a pizza. No, I'm talking like he's picking up a baby. The baby's looking at him all clue like, who are you? Why am I in your... Give me back to mama. That's what this baby is like. They're trying to high five the baby. The baby's like, you ain't touching me, dude. It was so weird. Just a random baby. On a Monday night. I mean, up later than a lot of people that I know. 11 p.m. This baby's like at a WWE show. I've never seen an actual baby. And he's being picked up by Jey Uso. They're trying to like yeet with him and high five, and the baby just wants to get down. Uso is looking at the baby like he's never seen one before. Doesn't know what to do with it, and I don't blame him either. He doesn't know what to do with somebody else's baby. He's thinking, what does Helmsley have me doing? And that is what Helmsley is booking for, by the way. Tiny humans that have no idea what's going on and they can't ask questions. So that's the demographic Helmsley's going for. Nobody can question the product if they don't understand the product. I am going to spend no time on this battle royal. LA Knight was in this thing, Sheamus, Penta, AJ Styles, CM Punk on commentary. When it's all said and done, Jason Yeaterman wins this battle royal. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about today's product. We started the match off with Jey Uso in the crowd hoisting up a random baby. Now I know it's not the Attitude Era anymore. Trust me, I am well aware of that, unfortunately. Jey Uso hoisting up a random baby. And 20 minutes later, he's actually winning the Battle Royal. Jey Uso, tag team, mid-card Jey Uso, wins the Royal Rumble, choked out Gunther at WrestleMania to hoist up a world championship, and 2 months later it was taken off of him because everybody realized, including Schnoz McGee, it just wasn't working, brah. But let's put him in another big world title match with CM Punk. Face versus face. This is sickening booking. This is repulsive. This is exhausting. It is unacceptable. This is not professional wrestling. It's not how you book it. Hunter Hearst Helmsley is the worst mind the wrestling business has ever seen. Straight up. That's not a hot take. We have 3 years of evidence now. Paul Levesque McMahon, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, is the worst booker I have ever seen try to act like he knows what he's doing in professional wrestling. This dude sucks. Non-stop, face versus face, heel versus heel, matches for the sake of matches. Announce a match 1 week for a title, 7 days later we have new champions. Things just happen left and right without purpose, without reason, no explanation. Of all the ways you could have gone with this, somehow we ended up with Jason Yeaterman versus CM Punk. What in the... At that point, just have Braun Breaker win it and have Breaker versus CM Punk. At least that's a little more fun, no? At least that's a heel and a face. At least you truly think, hey, either one of these dudes picks up the title. This is massive. Now, if CM Punk wins the title, who'd he beat? Jey Yeaterman. I would hope so. I would hope he would beat Jey Yeaterman. That's not really an accomplishment. And if Uso wins the title, oh, Maron, we doing this again? Of all you could have ended the show with, Jey Uso and CM Punk. I can't even fathom. I can't fathom that this is the best they came up with. But you know what? They must have put it through the AI machine. The artificial intelligence must have spit back out their recommendation. AI did all their calculations, and the best they came up with was Yeaterman and CM Punk. And there's Schnoz. Schnoz is like, I think this is good. I like it. Approved. Big check mark, right? Approved. Anyway, that was Monday Night Raw, man. Of course, the WWE, quote, universe is going to try to sell you that this was amazing. And oh my God, we had new tag title holders. I'm so proud of AJ. He deserves it. Right? And Dragon, How to Train, Dragon Palsy, Dragunov, Dragon Lee, AJ Lee. I'm sure he deserves it, right? New tag team champions. Yes, that's what the hell was the Judgment Day's reign all about? Nothing. Styles and Dragon Lee are now a tag team with titles. What is happening, man? Harlem Heat, Demolition, Legion of Doom, The Rockers, AJ Styles and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. Maxxine! She beat Becky again, boys! Maxxine! Yeah, she did. What a show, man. Maxxine did. She beat Becky again. Wow, what a show, man. Dominic Mysterio, BC. Dominic gave another low blow to Rusev and beat him again just like a couple weeks ago, boys. It's the same match as we saw a couple weeks ago with almost the same finishes, boys. Yes, it is. What a show, right? It was awesome. This was banger show, right? This is what they're going to tell us. Basically, they had a battle royal and Jey Uso won it, basically. Yes, he did. He battle royal, and Jey Uso is hoisting babies and has his hand raised. What a show, man. Hunter Helmsley, man. Put out, what are the kids calling it? Was it a banger? Was it a banger show? Yes. No, it wasn't! Stop! You think BC's gonna feed you that BS? Nah, you getting the truth here. This show sucked. They ain't gonna hide behind the bells and whistles anymore. It ain't gonna cut it when you've been bad for this long. And when we try to help you, you say, fuck off. You're not a real fan. This is coming from the boss, Hunter Helmsley. All right. You wanna belittle us? You want to talk down to us, degrade us, treat us like nothing, like simpletons? Cool. We'll treat you the same way. You want us to lower our standards so you don't have to do work? We say absolutely not. We're going to raise the standards, raise the bar, so you have to do even more work now. Helmsley, how's that sound? We're at a point now where decent isn't even good enough. Good enough isn't even good enough. You better be producing great shows from here on out for BC to even give you any semblance of respect. This didn't cut it. Maxxine Dupri beating Becky Lynch yet again in a rematch? Nah. Dominic beating Rusev yet again in a rematch nearly the same way? Nah. Jey Uso winning a random battle royal? Nah. Putting AJ Styles with a dragon and throwing titles on them with some pyro? Nah. Stephanie V defeating Roxy. Another loss for Roxy. What am I supposed to praise? None of it. This show sucked. That's the amplified truth. You are welcome, unit. Keep rocking. Much love and respect always. Until next time, and there will be that next time. BC in the unit, we're saying check you. Salute.